Hi, my name is Nikki, and I am the founder of Source Clarity and the host of Source Clarity Podcast. Today we have a fascinating topic. We are focusing in on the number one step most are missing in regards to utilizing the law of attraction. Now that has been a buzzword for a while at this point. And I remember when I first learned about the law of attraction, there was something so attractive about that. There was something that resonated so deeply on a heart and soul level, this idea that we can create our reality. But I really didn't understand it mathematically. I didn't understand how it worked, but I attempted to use it. And so on my adventure in learning about creation, the law of attraction, aligning with our dreams and goals, I began to realize what works and what doesn't work. And I began to realize a theme of what consistently wasn't working for people and what was. And I learned about the law of attraction when I was in the sixth grade. And again, I was wildly fascinated. So I want to start this off by, I want you guys to think of the universe as a partner, like a relationship. Whether this could be a friendship, this could be a romantic partnership, whatever it may be. And in this dynamic typically thrives because of the energy of two people. Like when you are in a flow state with another human being, you could literally say anything. I want you to think of your best friend, and you can legitimately say anything to them. Like some of my favorite people in the world, I'm just letting it rip because I know that they can feel my frequency and my vibration. And then we've been in those relationships. It could be romantic or not, just maybe sort of an acquaintance or a friend or a family member, and you kind of feel like you are walking on eggshells, right? So they're responding to your energy, you're responding to theirs, and it doesn't seem like you guys can get into a flow state. You can say, hey, I hope you have a wonderful day. And the thing that they heard was, F you, I hope you never talk to me again, right? So you said one thing, and they completely felt something else, or vice versa, where someone's like, ooh, I really like your shoes. And you heard something completely different. You heard, I hate your shoes, but I'm saying I like your shoes because I'm trying to be nice and I'm trying to be a people pleaser, but I feel deep down that you actually hate me, right? So if you think of the universe the same way, the universe is mirroring our dominant vibration. It is reflecting our energy. Understand? Now, again, I want you to think of the universe as your friend, as a consciousness. If sometimes you are expressing love and gratitude to this friend and you feel it on a heart level and they feel it, and then other times you're not, do you think that they're going to want to always show up for you, or do you think they're going to want to sometimes show up for you? Do you think they're going to be inconsistent with you? Well, the universe is the same way. The law of attraction works the same way. If you are saying affirmations over and over and over again, and you do not feel rooted to them emotionally, the universe is your best friend. It's simply going to reflect this back to you. It's going to reflect back your inconsistencies. It's going to reflect back to you your doubt. And many of us, as we attempt to attract the things that we're asking for, we don't actually feel rooted to feeling as if we already have these things. We don't actually feel that high level of appreciation. It's pretty interesting. There's this ingredient or this technique that I share with a lot of one-on-one private clients that are in relationships, and it changes their life. This actually works better if you're a woman and you do this with your male counterpart, but it works both ways, okay? And essentially, if you want, let's say your partner to do the dishes and they're not doing the dishes, okay? And this is huge for the law of attraction. Let's say they're not doing the dishes. And let's say one time they simply put the dish somewhere near the sink. If you say, because dudes are like dogs. Again, this works both ways, but it works better with women. If you're a woman and you say, I am so attracted to the way that you put the dish near the sink, that, and I'm not kidding, literally say something along the lines of that turns me on. That wildly excites me. And you are rooted to it, the guy will, there's a high probability he'll put it in the sink next time. And if you keep doing that, eventually you will find this guy doing the dishes. It's utilizing what's known as the law of focus. All right. We are thinking thousands of thoughts throughout our day. How many of those thoughts do you think are positive thoughts? Do you think a lot of them are? No, absolutely not. And even if we are consciously thinking positive thoughts, a lot of the times it's not penetrating into the subconscious mind. So we're not feeling our dreams and goals into existence. So the law of attraction is essentially this law that says that we can attract the things that we're a vibrational match for. But what dictates our dominant vibration? And here's what we're getting at in today's episode of Source Clarity Podcast. It's our emotions. It's having it's holding the frequency of that emotion that we've already attracted the things that we desire. It's frequently holding it. If you are having doubt in regards to manifesting what you desire, it is like poking a hole in a hot air balloon. Okay, and if you have more doubt, it's another hole in that hot air balloon. Your manifestation is that hot air balloon, and it's rising and it's growing and it's expanding and all these other things. The minute that you have an emotional doubt, now you might be listening to this. Now, if I was listening to this, I'd be like, wow, great, this sounds so exciting. I can attract my dreams and goals, the things that are in accordance with my spirit self, so on and so forth. But if I have doubt, I'm screwed. My brain, if I was listening to this episode, would automatically go, I have to focus on doubt. I'm scared to focus on doubt, and then I would begin to focus on doubt. So what do we do about this? Well, we begin to realize that doubt is not a negative thing. Doubting your manifestations is not a negative thing, all right? So we're going to simplify what we've talked about in this episode so far. To attract your dreams and goals is to hold the frequency and vibration that your dreams and goals are happening. Okay, now there's more to this, but this is a start. It's to feel as if your dreams and goals are unfolding, that they're happening, that like, let's say you desire to attract something like your dream romantic partnership. It's to start to ask yourself this question: how can I begin to feel romantic about my life? How can I begin to fall in love with my life? How do we desire to feel in a romantic partnership? The question is, how can you begin to frequently feel that in your own life? Now, that can be challenging to hold that frequency and vibration, because remember, the frequency and vibration is an emotional experience. And there are moments that we're going to have doubt, where we feel like we have poked a hole in that hot air balloon. So how do we stay confident that we have attracted these things when we don't feel them all around us? Well, we begin to understand it's not the initial thought that causes the hole in the hot air balloon. It's how we react to the doubt, how we react to the fear. You can have this fear that is there at your conscious mind. I'm holding back a sneeze right now. Okay. And for those who don't know and who are new to this community, a sneeze is confirmation from the spiritual world. So from source, from higher self, from guides. So there's that. I'm holding back a sneeze. It's not the fear. It's not the doubt necessarily, the thought of it. A thought is just a thought. We give thoughts meaning. Now, this technique is profound. It completely changed my life. So I began this process, okay, of realizing, okay, I have these doubts. I'm looking to attract my dreams and goals. I have to hold this frequency and vibration. Like when I'm first learning about this, I'm having a difficult time. Then I began to realize that life has no intrinsic meaning in a lot of ways. We give life meaning. We give things life, okay? So if you have a thought of doubt, worry, negativity, it's not about judging yourself. You get to decide what that thought means. So this is going to change your life. Let's say you're looking to attract your dream romantic partnership, and all of a sudden you have a moment of doubt, right? Maybe you're walking down the street, you're at some fair, or you're at a party, and you see a couple holding hands, and all of a sudden you're like, man, I feel so alone. It's about what you do with that thought. You can either decide that that thought means you are not in alignment with a romantic partnership, or you can decide that that is a sign that you are increasing your frequency and vibration. The universe is kind of setting up a test so you feel emotionally rooted to the idea that you're already in alignment with what you're asking for. You guys get what I'm getting at here? So it's sort of like taking negative thoughts and realizing it's not the thought itself that is creating this chaos in your life, that is creating and poking holes and you attracting what you're asking for. Because to utilize the law of attraction to the highest degree is to feel as if your dreams are happening, to feel confident that they're already happening, to create your reality internally it becomes so real that your external reality begins to reflect this. If you begin to see your thoughts differently, make your thoughts mean whatever you desire for them to mean, even the negative ones as empowering, this is a life-changing technique that when you begin to utilize it long enough, it will begin to change things in your reality. It's sort of that thing we talked about where if you want your partner to do the dishes and they simply put their dish like on the counter but not in the sink, In that moment, you can either decide that that means your partner doesn't want to do the dishes. You could take it personal. And what's going to begin to happen, because you're the creator of your reality, you're utilizing the law of focus to create more of that. Or you can be like, wait a minute, that's like closer to the sink than he did last time. I'm going to feel rooted to this and I'm going to appreciate this to a high degree. And your partner is an aspect of the universe. They're directly going to reflect how rooted you are to something. If they don't feel actually appreciated, they're going to reflect that back to you. The universe is the same way. If we can begin to immerse ourselves in the frequency and vibration of appreciation, signs, I hate to break it to you, they aren't actually real in the way that you might think that they're real, because we give life meaning. Now, when you see things like 222 or, like two birds flying together, signs do exist. It's more so a reflection of your energy. So it's sort of like when you see things like, the clock is 222 or there's some other sign. It is a sign in that it's reflecting your own coherence, your own clarity that you've created within, but it's not necessarily an external force. We have what's known as guides, angels, our higher self. And our higher self and our guides and our angels, they're actually frequently communicating with us at all time. But they're sort of playing with our own energy field, and they can communicate with us through nature, through the sky, through clouds, through music, through art, through books, and all these incredible ways. So I'm sharing this with you because when you begin to take everything in your life as a sign that your frequency and vibration is aligning more with the things that you're asking for, and this includes your negative thought patterns of doubt, fear, worry, this is how you begin to, build momentum in the direction of your dreams and goals. And we talked about in the beginning of this, momentum is one of the most powerful forces that we have in this universe. Many people, as they begin to embark on the adventure of utilizing the law of attraction, they do these things like visualizing their dreams and goals, maybe in the morning, maybe at night, maybe in the afternoon. And then they go about their day-to-day life and they're not even aware of all the thoughts of fear, doubt, and worry. And then eventually they allow their emotions to tether to that doubt, fear, and worry. For you guys, this is about remembering those thoughts are going to arise. But if you can begin to practice sort of what we could call movement meditation throughout your day. When those negative thought patterns arise, go, okay, this doesn't mean that I'm out of alignment with that thing that I would like to attract. This simply means I'm closer to aligning with the things that I desire to attract. This is a good sign. Now, this is a practice. Okay, this may not be overnight where you feel emotionally rooted to like having a good feeling about your negative thought patterns. There is nuance in all of this because our negative thoughts, they are reflecting our emotional imbalances. So if you're attempting to think a positive thought when you're having a negative thought, so on and so forth, it might be a little bit of a process to see that negative thought pattern as something positive in your life, right? Because like it might turn into suppressing that negativity, and this is where it can begin to feel a little bit complicated. But anything that you are built to attract in this world, it is a rite of passage process. You sort of have to, it is an earning of, you have to earn your right, essentially. And if you lean into the challenge that life has to offer and realize that you can turn adversity, you can turn challenges, even if they're internal ones, as meaning something good. I remember when I first opened up one of my first offerings, it was an intuition course many years ago. And I remember I got a hold of this. Okay, I remember I opened up my first course, and I've shared this with you guys a number of times. Nobody signed up. And then I opened up another course. Nobody signed up. And then I opened up a third course. Nobody signed up. And then I opened up another course. Now I'm like, okay, I'm going to use my intuition to actually attract people in this space. Okay. So what would happen is I opened up this course, and no one signed up at first. And I realized that is an easy opportunity. That is an easy opportunity to go, this is a sign that nobody wants to join, that I'm not meant to do this. But instead, I held on and I did not allow that thought to mean something negative about me. So I actually went to this place of going, that is a sign then I'm in alignment with more abundance and people are going to join, because people that have abundance in their offerings, they also have these thoughts. They simply just do not succumb to them, buy into them, lean into that negativity. Then I would get emails. Now, I would get notified in emails if people would join. I would get emails and I would check the email. And I remember at first, it was just like an email from like maybe the bank or something. And I'd be like, at first my brain wanted to go to this reflexive place of, this is a sign that no one's going to join. But I would go, wait a minute. It takes an email for me to be notified that someone joined. I'm getting emails about other things, but this means I'm in alignment to attract what I desire. So all of a sudden through this process, it felt a little bit challenging at first. But as I began to practice and utilize what's known as the art of repetition, things began to change. I started to feel as if people already joined. I actually went, here's a little secret most people don't talk about, worst case scenario, and found peace with it. So it wasn't sitting in the soil of my subconscious mind, meaning I went, if no one joins, that is a sign that more people are going to join eventually. And I convinced myself, and I actually went into this like meditation process. I remember I was sitting outside with my shirt off in this meditation pose, and I began to convince my brain that if no one joined, it would be amazing, because it let go of this neediness energy. It got me into this frequency and vibration of everything is a sign that I'm in alignment with more of the thing that I desire to attract with people, which is for people to join. Long story short, people joined, and it was an awesome offering, and it was so fun, and it was so incredible, and I had all these reasons not to believe at first that people were going to join. And I've had so many different experiences like this in my life where I just had to remind myself that negative thoughts of doubt, fear, and worry, the initial thought is not the thing that pokes a hole in my hot air balloon that represents the thing that I desire to manifest. I've shared this analogy before on social media. I'm going to share it with you. You can attract anything that your spirit self desires to attract by realizing that life is like a video game. It's like a simulation. It's already written into the software of the video game that the main character finishes the game, completes the last level. It's already written into the software. It's the job of the person playing the video game to overcome the challenges and to realize, to activate that part of the software that the main character in the video game accomplishes the game. This life is no different. It is a video game. You have already attracted your dreams and goals. It's already written into the software or the quantum realm, which is our software, that you've attracted your dreams and goals. So this is more of a realization process. Yes, what most people miss in regards to utilizing the law of attraction is actions, right? Because in a video game, you can't just sit there and win the game. You actually have to do certain things and learn how to get good at video games and overcome the challenges and the obstacle courses, whatever it may be. Life is the same way. It requires 100% of your energy and 100% of your actions. But if you align your dominant vibration with your dreams and goals, you're going to feel intuitively guided to take the proper actions to attract the things that you're asking for. This blew my mind. Your higher self is playing the video game that is life. Your physical body is the avatar. It is fascinating. Like attempting to attract your dreams and goals. And it's sort of like, okay, think of this analogy. I like this one, okay? Expecting life to give you the things that you're asking for without aligning your frequency and vibration with it is like going up to a mirror and asking the reflection to smile before you smile. Right? Imagine going up to a mirror and saying, smile. The reflection is simply going to reflect that back to you. And it's going to be you standing in front of you saying, smile. Life is the same way. If you smile, the reflection is going to smile. So if you appreciate that you've attracted your dreams and goals, you're going to attract more things that feel in alignment with that appreciation. If you begin to take actions that are in accordance with someone that has attracted the things they've asked for, life is going to reflect that back to you. So again, imagine standing in front of that mirror and telling the mirror to smile. Is it going to smile back to you? No. If you want the mirror to smile back to you, do you think the mirror is going to, your reflection is going to smile back to you? Absolutely not. Now, so many of us, we are sitting in this wishing, this wanting, whether it be a dream romantic relationship, whether it be your career. Now, Here is a part 2 that most people miss in regards to utilizing the law of attraction to the highest degree. We've talked about this in our Source Clarity podcast and in our community many times, and I want to just highlight this again. To attract your dreams and goals, it's going to require you to take actions. Okay, it's going to require you to move. Now, we call actions here Maya. We call it messy, aligned, intuitive action because it's going to feel messy. Now, what happens through this process of taking actions in the direction of your dreams and goals is that you will be purifying the relationship with who you really are. So again, if we were to think of this podcast, right? If I were to sit and meditate and to frequently think about how explosive and incredible and life-changing this podcast is, if I were to think about all the listeners that were joining and it became my dominant vibration, and that's all I did, could I have a successful podcast? I have yet to see someone not take actions and attract what they're asking for. If they're out there, let me know. It required me to actually, at first I recorded the podcast on my cell phone, on my voice memos. It required me to actually practice my communication skills. So I had to actually take these actions. And what happened through the actions is I was able to realize aspects of my subconscious mind where I wasn't confident, where I wasn't rooted to the information that I was sharing. I was rooted to it in my own life, but I wasn't rooted to feeling confident in sharing it with the world. So this helps you increase your frequency and vibration with actions. If you're looking to attract your dream romantic partner and you're hoping that they show up at your balcony, knock on your window and throw flowers on your bed, well, if you're able to do that, call me. I would love to know your technique, but ultimately this is about going out there in the world, practicing that Maya. Maybe if you are a female, smiling at, someone you find attractive at the grocery store, going on dates, learning how to feel rooted to how amazing you are while you're on these dates. I've worked with a lot of people around the world in one-on-one intuitive reading sessions. And when someone's looking to attract a high frequency romantic relationships, there's many times I'm like, you need to go on a bunch of dates. Go on dates, right? This is where you're going to begin to realize more of you. Why? Well, because if life is a mirror of our energy, when you go out into the world and take actions, you're giving life an opportunity to be the teacher that it is. The greatest teacher that we have is life's experiences. So if you go out into the world and realize you get rejected, you're now able to sort of look at the data and start to see, where did I not feel emotionally rooted or committed to myself? Because life is a reflection of our energy. Now, we have 8 different areas of our life, okay? So if we are not committed to ourselves in one or more of the 8 different areas of our life, this is going to affect our manifestations, us attracting the things that we're asking for. But think about this. If you go on a date, let's say you're looking to attract your dream romantic partnership, someone who's complementary of your spirit self or a soul mate, okay? And you go on a date, and let's say you get ghosted. Been there. I've shared that story so many times. I don't know if I can share it again. I got to find new stories here. But yes, I've been there. I've been ghosted, and maybe I will share it again. But we can go about this 2 ways. We can go about this in leaning into the ego. The ego's job is to protect us. And technically, you not feeling safe, the ego feels safe not feeling safe, right? Because technically you're alive. So the ego is going to do everything that it can in its power to have you feeling sorry for yourself. And you can go down that path. But the way that the law of attraction works, or the law of focus works, is that whatever we focus on grows. So if I focus on that happened to me, I'm not likable, it's just inherent, I'm not likable, everyone's going to reject me. That momentum, it's one of the most powerful forces in this universe. That's going to continue to grow and it's going to expand, and you're going to have all the evidence to prove why that is correct. But if you decide that you are going to make adversity and challenges mean something empowering, mean something positive, that it's aligning you closer with your dreams and goals, it can be that. Wow, what an amazing opportunity to realize a deeper level of love within myself. Wow. And what you'll begin to realize is that your frequency and vibration will increase in that moment, right? If you're looking to attract financial abundance, you can walk by a penny on the ground and go about it in 1 or 2 ways. You can go, wow, the universe hates me. It's only bringing me pennies. Or you can legitimately utilize that thing that we've all heard out there in the world. Either the cup is half empty, that cup is half full. You can go the cup is half full route and go, wow, money is addicted to me. I am so good at attracting money. Look at this lucky penny. It must mean something incredible. And that penny might turn into a dime, and that dime may turn into a quarter, and that quarter might turn into $1. That dollar might turn into $10. That $10 might turn into $100. That 100 might turn into 1,000. 1,000 turns into 100,000. 100,000 turns into 1,000,000. If you can begin to practice this muscle, you are the creator of your reality, right? You are sort of the generator of the movie that is life. And all the energies that are within you, that's going to reflect back to you in life. And life is giving you an opportunity to increase your frequency and vibration, to know how remarkable you are on a soul level. And if something outside of you causes you to feel resistance, causes you to feel triggered, well, maybe that's just an opportunity to increase your own levels of love, your own levels of appreciation, because, it's the nuance that it exists within spirituality. If we develop a mastery over the nuance that spirituality has to offer, this is where real soul growing, real soul evolution and happiness resides, right? And I'm sharing this to say, this is going to be a little bit of a process, right? Because when you experience adversity, whether it's that internal adversity and challenge, whether it's the doubt, the fear, the worry within the mind, or external challenges, you may attempt to integrate this technique. And at first, it feels like you're suppressing your emotions. So this is where nuance resides. It's like, okay, I got to figure out how to get emotion out of my body and then feel these things, right? Then we have the techniques for this, but I want you guys to start with this before we go any further. If we can develop a mastery over seeing all aspects of life as a gift, seeing our internal stuff as bringing, for lack of a better word, stuff, as bringing us closer to what we're asking for, this is where we begin to utilize the law of attraction to the highest degree. You were built to have incredible things in this world. The opportunity for high level of success in this lifetime from the perspective of Source is guaranteed. It's not guaranteed that you have success. It's like that video game analogy. The opportunity for success with any video game character for them to get to the last level and win the whole game is guaranteed. It's going to require you to increase your skill set as a video game player and learn all the obstacle courses, how to do these things. Life is no different. If you decide to keep going and try new ways of doing things, it will work. I love the video game analogy because it's like if you just play this video game and let's say you're on level 1 and you're not passing level 1, you're not winning level 1. Clearly, I don't play a lot of video games, and you're doing the same thing over and over again, you're not going to win level 1. You got to try new things. You got to adapt. But life is a simulation, and the software is the quantum realm. You've already won. Your job is now just to enjoy the adventure and figure out how to experience that win, to realize that win through your Maya, your messy aligned intuitive action, and through aligning your emotions, your dominant vibration with the thing that you're asking for. And it's a daily practice. Okay? Practicing visualizing your dreams and goals is great. That's going to elicit a high level of emotion. Okay? Taking action is going to elicit confidence, it's going to elicit emotion. Again, if we go back to attracting your dream romantic relationship, okay? When you go on a bunch of dates and you eventually stop getting ghosted, okay? You're going to start to feel pretty good. You're going to start to feel confident. And think about how that's going to begin to reflect back into your reality. You're someone that went on 2, 3, 4 dates. Maybe you got ghosted, but you didn't take it personal. You looked internally and saw, how can I shift things? You started to look at this life mathematically and went, wait, this is just a math equation. It's not personal that I got rejected. It is a math equation. I'm going to figure out the variables that were missing. I'm going to realize where I felt uncommitted to myself, because life is a mirror. If we're standing in front of a mirror and we smile, the mirror is going to smile back. If I'm standing in front of a mirror and I put myself second, well, if I slap myself in the face, the reflection is going to do that same thing back. So life is the same way. If I'm standing in front of life and I put myself second, life is going to put me second. I might not be prioritized, and this might reflect in my dating life, but it's a math equation. Like, if I'm standing in front of this mirror and the mirror is frowning, it's not personal that the mirror is frowning. You guys understand where I'm getting at here? It's not personal that the mirror is frowning. It's simply reflecting my energy. And this is life if we can practice not taking things personal and start to see it mathematically. Connecting with your intuition is connecting with the objectivity of the spirit self, your spirit self and source. See things from this bird's eye view. They see things from this sort of like a math equation. They see things objectively. They see how brilliant you are. And they're sort of, in a lot of ways, I used to say this frequently. I've kind of held myself back because not everyone loves it, but it's helped me a lot. And it's understanding that the universe is just testing you. Now, the universe is built to test you. It's not testing you, okay, because we are the creators of our reality, but it's simply, testing you. And the test is really simple. If you don't get what you want, the test is, can you feel as if you already have what you want and keep going? That's the test, essentially. Like, are you going to? It's like some of the greatest, most successful people that we've ever seen, they have shared their stories publicly about how the whole world did not believe in the thing that they had to offer, right? Their family, their friends, they didn't understand it. So to attract a life that's in accordance with your dreams and goals, to utilize the law of attraction to the highest degree, it's to realize that you're going to have to feel that smile before you see any smiles outside of you. And reality will begin to catch up. It's to feel an appreciation for what you're asking for. It's to feel that abundance that you're looking for, to feel connected with your soul path, soul pole, to feel connected with your purpose. Okay, we're going to get into another episode about this, but I want you guys to understand, again, we have 8 different areas of our life. Okay, now there's a whole other topic for those that are new. If you're a long-time listener, I think you get this at this point, but for the new listeners here, we'll get into another episode about this. We should have other episodes about it already, so we may link that into the show notes, but we have 8 different areas of our life. So if I feel like I'm rejecting myself, let's say financially, okay? This could reflect in the romantic area of my life. Okay, 90 to 95% of our daily actions are dictated by the conscious mind, by the subconscious mind. Now, the conscious mind is unaware of what's going on in the subconscious. So, meaning the conscious mind tends to think that our dating problems have to do with dating. But really, if I am rejecting myself financially, it could manifest in feeling as if another human is rejecting me romantically. I remember the first time, I've shared this story before, but I'm going to share it again anyway. Okay. Y'all, I'm going to get some new stories, but I'm also thinking of the new listener here, but I remember the first time I went on a Hinge date and I thought it went great. I'm only embarrassed because I've shared the story so many times, but not because of the actual story, but I went on a Hinge date and I felt like my Hinge wasn't like popping off, all these other things. And I go on a Hinge date, and I thought it went pretty good, but I was really nervous. And then I got ghosted. That's the long story short, okay? There's probably 5 other episodes where I'm talking about this. So, intuition's great because I looked in intuitively, and I was like, how do I feel about, if life is mirroring our energy, how do I feel about this moment right now, okay? If it's not personal, which, trust me, I took it personal. It felt terrible because I had this idea of how the date would go, all these other things, and it hurt, okay? Even on the outside, if that's not that big of a deal, it hurt. So I looked in intuitively, and I saw that I was sort of rejecting myself in my career at that point. I was sort of ghosting myself. There was a lack of emotional connection, and this is really big for you guys to understand because remember, the universe is like another human. You can say I love you to a human, but if you don't feel it, they will feel that lack of expression, okay? So I was doing my career. Things were going pretty well in my career, but I had a lack of an emotional love for it at this point in time. So then I looked at it intuitively and saw, okay, this is reflecting my energy. It's reflecting how I feel about my career. So I changed a lot of things. I began to feel an emotional love and appreciation for my career. My frequency and vibration increased. I go back on Hinge. Long story short, let's just say it hasn't happened since. Okay, all the Hinge dates, Hinge popped off. Hinge went really well. Met a lot of really beautiful people on these dates because I felt that confidence, and people can feel that. So if you feel doubtful about who you are and your life, it's going to reflect back to you. And there's a couple of amazing different approaches that we have in this episode. One approach is to realize that the obstacles, especially the internal ones, right? The ones of doubt, fear, and worry, the thoughts that we have, you get to decide if they are a sign that you're closer to what you're asking for or creating more distance between you and what you want. And the external stuff. You can decide that if you feel like you have no money in your bank account, you can decide that that's a sign that you're destined to be rich and have a lot of money. And one of the ways that this helped me when I had negative in my account is going, well, some of the most successful people ever, they all have their stories where they had literally no money in their account and they believed in themselves more than anything. And that's a sign that I am rich, right? The next thing is to begin to realize that the law of attraction, the way that we can utilize it in these effective, amazing ways is to realize that life is reflecting our dominant vibration. So it's not the doubt, it is us succumbing to the doubt. And then it's realizing that we have 8 different areas of our life. And again, if you guys want more on this, because I know we didn't focus totally on this topic, we're going to expand on the 8 different areas of life thing to really develop a mastery over the law of attraction. But this is the first start. It's to realize that if we're not attracting what we desire, it's simply reflecting where we aren't giving ourselves that same energy in a whole other area of our life. Because again, the conscious mind is lying to us about what's going on our subconscious mind. The way that I can help you understand this is like if I were to give you $1 million in a briefcase and it's not taxed, your frequency and vibration is going to increase. You're going to feel good about yourself. Now imagine how your dating life is going to be. Imagine how you're going to feel when you interact with your family. Imagine how you're going to feel with your business. So you see all these 8 different areas of life, they're connected and they're feeding each other and so on and so forth. But that's a whole other topic. And I am excited to dive deeper into. Again, we have episodes on it already. We'll put it in the show notes. But I like to talk about these topics in a way, if you're a new listener or you're a longtime listener, that you can both listen. So if we talk about it, it's going to be for both you longtime listeners and you new listeners, so that it'll be a really beautiful new way of talking about things. You were built to create amazing things in this world. And that is a source truth, that opportunity for success is guaranteed, but the success is not guaranteed. And it's like that video game analogy. The opportunity for the main character to win is guaranteed, but yeah, you guys get where I'm going with this. Okay, so, and I just want to remind you of that. And I want to thank you so much for listening to this, to being a part of our Source Clarity community. If you feel called, if you're watching this, feel free to write in the comments. Let us know how you feel. We would love to see your comments. Like would be awesome. A like on this video would be absolutely incredible. We have what's known as our Creating Clarity webinars. They are free, where you get to ask me any questions. We're Q&As. We talk about topics like the law of attraction. We talk about topics like manifesting love. And we talk about topics like developing your intuition and aligning with your purpose. We talk about the things that the spiritual world misses in regards to attracting what you were built to create in this world. We talk about so many things. You can bring your questions. It's so much fun. So that's every Wednesday. You guys can register for that in the show notes. And we will be back next week with another episode of Source Clarity Podcast. Alrighty, friends. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Source Clarity Podcast. Stay awesome and authentic. Peace.